signed in, but it's great to see everybody tonight. Hopefully you have your questions ready. We're excited to chat with you over the next hour. Hang tight. We'll get started in just a minute or so. All right, it's 7 o'clock on the dot, so we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. We have lots of good information that I imagine is going to be discussed over the next 50 minutes to an hour, and so I don't want to waste any time. We want to hear from you this evening and are excited that you're here. Welcome to our first Tennessee Family Series for the summer of 2022. Congratulations to all of our new volunteers, both students and their family members and students. Thank you again for joining us tonight. My name is Adam White. I'll be moderating our panel for this evening. I work for the Office of New Student Orientation, but I am not alone this evening, and good thing, because we have some experts in some of the top topics, I guess you could say, for our incoming vols. We call them the Big Four: dining, housing, one-stop, and parking and transportation. I'm going to allow each of our panelists to briefly introduce themselves, share what office they're representing, and then I'll throw it out for a first question. But family members, please ask your questions this evening. If you look down at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a Q&A feature. Please use that to ask your questions. Don't use the chat. Use the Q&A feature. If you're joining us on YouTube, you can use it there as well. We have folks behind the scenes with us too, who are going to be responding to your questions via chat. So if we don't get to your question on air, don't worry, our fantastic team behind the scenes will absolutely get back to you. So just keep a lookout after you post your question. Don't just close out of it because you might get a response that way as well. I'm going to stop talking. I want to throw it to our panelists to introduce themselves. And Stacy, if you wouldn't mind kicking us off.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Stacy Lane, Assistant Director for One Stop Student Services. We are super excited for the incoming class. We have been fielding questions through phone calls and emails over the last few weeks, but we know that more questions are headed our way. So we are here to help you. There's several counselors. The leadership team are super excited to get you ready for the fall semester.
Wonderful. Richard.
Thanks, Adam. I'm Richard Swearingen with University Housing. It's a busy week this week and next in University Housing as we're doing freshman room selection. We just wrapped up wave 2 today. We've had about 2,600 students already book their room on campus, and we're looking forward to having you all here.
Excellent. Thanks, Richard. Moira.
Good evening. My name is Moira Bidner, and I am the Communications Manager for Parking and Transit. We are the transportation and mobility people on campus. Parking permits go on sale on August the 1st, and we also have a free bus system that gets students around campus.
Thanks, Moira. And last but certainly not least, Mary Leslie.
Hey, everybody. My name is Mary Leslie Patterson. I'm the Marketing Director with Vol Dining, and we look forward to having you on campus and feeding you delicious food. And just to let you know, I am also the proud parent of 2 UT grads. Thank you, Adam.
Lost my place there. Absolutely. Thank you so much, panelists, for introducing yourselves. And as you heard, they're representing some fantastic departments on UT's campus. And I would imagine a lot of you have questions about all the topics that they represent. So again, don't be shy. Put those questions in the Q&A feature below. And please try and keep your questions to these particular topics. We're going to have a range of Tennessee Family Series webinars over the course of the summer where we will outline a lot of different topics and try and get to as many of the ones that we know are crucial for our new incoming students transition and in success. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of start with a broad one before we get into the nitty gritty. But if you wouldn't mind just touching on what you're most excited about for this year's incoming class and what you're kind of most looking forward to as we kind of head into the summer and really start looking towards the fall semester. Stacy, if you wouldn't mind kicking us off.
Yeah, just like every summer, the new incoming class and transfer student or freshman, they just have their questions and they just don't know what they need answered right away. And so really for us, we just want to get the student prepared and answer all of their questions. But we finally are getting students back on campus. So we love seeing that energy. We're in Hodges Library, so we're kind of the hub of campus. So we like the change between classes and seeing all the students and feeling their energy throughout the semester.
And Stacy, just a quick follow-up. I know One Stop covers a lot, right? But right now for new family members, right? For new family members of new incoming students, what's one or two things that pertains to your department that you just know for a fact would be important for them to just be aware of?
Sure. So we got the students through the admissions process. We got them admitted and they got confirmed. So now we're really going into that financial aid piece, registration as part of, meeting with the academic advising community during orientation. And then the ever so fun payment due date on August 22nd through our bursar's office. And so really it's just kind of from one thing to another, we answer questions for those 4 home offices. So admissions, financial aid, bursar, and registrar. So yeah, just trying to get them from one office to another or through one process from another. And so we've got the admission piece taken care of, and now it's the fun financial piece.
Awesome. Thanks, Stacey. I'm sure we'll revisit some of that here later on. Richard, I want to go to you next with housing. Feel free to touch on kind of what you're looking forward to the most, but if you wouldn't mind also highlighting what are just some really hot topic things in your world that you all are getting questions on or just things that are happening. Now you mentioned there's some activity going on behind the scenes with our new students. So what do you have to think about that?
Sure. Like Stacy, I'm looking forward to our students being back and filling the residence halls again. If you've ever been in a completely empty residence hall, it's kind of spooky. So we like having our students in. The life and the energy that you guys bring to campus is just exciting and engaging. As an added bonus, when you're here, the lunch robots run and I can order lunch and have it delivered on a little robot. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Hot topics for us right now, obviously room selection, and I'm seeing a lot of questions scroll through the Q&A on room selection. After that has wrapped, the next place we will focus our sites will be on booking your move-in appointments. So those are 2 large items that we're working on.
Awesome. And like Stacey, I know we'll get into some of the details on that, I'm sure, as I see those questions kind of pouring in too. Mary Leslie, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and just kind of follow suit here. What are you looking forward to most? And just what's 1 or 2 things that you want to make sure folks are considering as they potentially ask some questions this evening?
Like everybody else, we're looking forward to having our students back on campus. It is super quiet when they're not here. Our chefs right now are working on the new menus and new recipes for the fall semester. We've expanded our culinary team, so we're excited about that. And we have a brand new dining hall. So we look forward to having students come and dine with us. A couple of things to think about right now. If you are a first-year freshman living on campus, you don't need to do anything. You're automatically going to be assessed the 7-day plan. But if you want to switch to the 5-day plan, you can do that. So really, you don't have to do anything if you want to stay on the 7. The other thing I want to let students and families know is that if you have a dietary need, we do have a dietitian on campus and she is available to meet with you. You can contact her, just go to our website under Health and Wellness, and you can email her and she will definitely set up an appointment. So we're looking forward to having everybody back on campus, Adam.
Absolutely. I'm excited for everybody to check out the new dining hall as well. Moira, same thing. What are you looking forward to for this upcoming semester? And then just what's 1 or 2 hot button topics that you want to make sure folks are considering here as they head into the fall?
Sure. I, along with my colleagues, love the energy when the students are on campus. Besides my role in parking and transit as the communications manager, some of my other tasks projects that I work on is I create maps So I've been busy with the maps for the NCAA baseball tournament. I also work with sorority and fraternity recruitment, and I help them with transportation for those sessions. And I love seeing, all the people that come in early for that. The couple big things I would say is the parking permits will be available online on August the 1st. If you have a signed housing contract, you can go ahead and purchase that on August the 1st. The rates are $294 if you're living in the dorms and $188 if you are a commuter. We do not have any overnight commuter parking permits. So if you do not live in the residential halls, you can only purchase the commuter permit. You have to have a signed contract to purchase the residential one. And so I also did a PowerPoint presentation that our team will be sending out afterwards that provides a lot of these, and our website has a ton of answers. Thanks, Adam.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and just jump right in. The questions have been flowing over the last few minutes, and so I want to make sure that we spend the remaining time getting to as many of them for the folks that are joining us this evening. Stacy, I'm going to go straight to you here. We have a question about finding out final costs and payment plans and things like that. Can you just talk a little bit about, the bill, maybe how to access the bill, and maybe a little bit about payment plans as well?
Sure. So as of right now, we just have an estimated cost of attendance. We're waiting for the Board of Trustees to set tuition and fees for the fall semester. That will happen. The first part of July is when we will update our website. And then that is when the bursar's office will be able to release charges to the student's MyUTK account. So to see the bill quickly, I would say that would be mid part of July on the student's MyUTK account. That is where all the information originally goes. If a parent or a guardian would like to be part of that process, the student will need to go on their MyUTK and add them as an authorized user for financials. When a family member, a friend of the family, whoever the student decides to list as their authorized user, once that's on the student's account, that individual will receive a couple emails to set up their own portal as an authorized user so they can see the billing statement, financial aid that's applied to the charges, make payment. And then as far as the deferred payment plan, that can also be enrolled. A student can enroll in a deferred payment plan and get that ready for the fall semester.
Thanks, Stacy. You actually answered what was going to be my follow-up question as well. So I appreciate you knocking both of those out. And again, we might repeat some of this information because I know we still have folks joining us. And so if you still miss something or want some follow-up details, feel free to throw it in there. Or again, you're going to hear me say this a lot. Make sure to check out our website. There's a lot of great information on all of our department's site that can probably be some good follow-up for you as you probably try and remember as much of what you hear tonight as possible. Mary Leslie, if you wouldn't mind shedding some light on, you talked a little bit in your intro about the different meal plan options. Can you just talk a little bit about what those options are and maybe what, why a student might gravitate towards one over the other?
Okay. We have, if you're a first-time freshman living on campus, you have two options. You will automatically be assessed the 7-day all-access plan, and you have the option to change to the 5-day. I always tell students that if you were definitely going to be on campus Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, then I would stick with the 7-day plan. The 5-day plan was designed for students who are probably going to go home every weekend or might have jobs on the weekend. So they know they're not going to be there Saturday and Sunday. But I would definitely, really look at your schedule, look at what you're going to be doing and choose the plan that best fits your needs. You do have the ability to change from one plan to the other up till the 28th day after the first day of class. And that specific date will be on our website. So we'll definitely get that out to you, Adam, so you can share it with everyone. If you are a commuter, I would encourage you to go to our website. It's ut.campusdish and look at the options that are available to you. There are block plans. There are straight dining dollar plans. And once again, look at your schedule, look at how much you're going to be on campus and where you're going to be dining, and then choose the plan that best fits your needs. And if you need help, I always tell students, just call us. We'll be happy to help you, walk you through. And once again, for those with dietary needs, we do have a dietitian, and she will work with you to ensure that you get the nourishment that you need.
Mary Leslie, thanks so much. And that's a lot of great information. And Lindsay Davis, who's working behind the scenes here, she just posted the link to the website Mary Leslie was referencing as well. So be sure to check that out. A quick follow-up, Mary Leslie, it might be a silly question, but what are dining dollars?
Oh, dining dollars. Dining dollars are wonderful. They spend just like cash, dollar for dollar, and you can use those all over campus. You can use them in our pod markets. And what pod markets are they are convenience stores on campus. And there are 11 pod markets on campus now. We just opened the newest one up in the engineering campus. So we're excited about that. Dining dollars you can use at your Starbucks. You can use at Chick-fil-A, anywhere on campus. What I wouldn't do, if you have a meal plan with meal plan swipes, don't use your dining dollars in the dining hall. Definitely use your meal swipes for the dining hall meals, and use your dining dollars to treat yourself, to the national brands. And, you can use them to buy health and beauty items or snacks or whatever you need from the pod markets.
Wonderful. Thanks for elaborating on that for me a little bit. Richard, I want to go ahead and call on you here, if that's okay with you. We have a question here about just roommates in general and the selection process. And specifically, this one family member mentioned, the student doesn't have a roommate yet. And, are you going to assign one? And when does that happen? When do they find out who that is? And so just kind of shed some light on that. That'd be great.
Sure. Well, I'm trying to think the best place to start there, whether it's to talk about how selection waves work or roommates pairing. Let's start with roommate pairing. Students had until May 25th to pair with a roommate in the University Housing portal. Pairing with a roommate, what that does is it links your two accounts so that one student can select a room on behalf of two students. And when they're in the portal, they can then go in and assign themselves a bed and assign their roommate a bed. If you don't have a roommate paired, that is not a big deal at all. When you go into room selection, you'll just assign yourself to a room. In the portal, you can see rooms that have partially occupied rooms or fully vacant rooms. We ask that students who are flying solo try and place themselves into partially occupied first to leave fully vacant rooms open as long as possible. The waves come into play then in relation to roommates. There are 4 waves of room selection. So 1, 2, 3, 4. In each of those 4 waves, there are time slots. The time slots allow students access to the portal. So within one wave, there's dozens of time slots. We run about 50 students every 20 minutes in to come in and select a room. In each of those waves, there's an equal distribution from each residence hall of rooms that are available. So wave 1 was all living learning communities. That took place the first 2 days of this week. So if your student is participating in a living learning community, they selected their room on the 6th or the 7th. And we do it first so we can just get that one tucked away. Those are beds that are pre-allocated for those specific communities. So that gets that group of students settled in and off the plate. They don't have to worry about it. The next 2 waves, the one that we just finished today was wave 2. Wave 3 starts tomorrow. Those 2 waves are for students who paired as roommates. We do that so that there is less of a chance of rooms getting fragmented up into partially occupied, because everyone in those waves are initially were paired as roommates. There is still, and I saw some questions about when my student went in, they could only find a single room or a single bed in a room. That is possible. We mitigate for that by placing roommates together in that wave. But some students might get to that wave, and by that point, they've decided to separate from their roommate, and then they pick as a solo with them. But those are few and far between. Wave 4 is all solo students. So they're all selecting in that group from all the rooms that have been allocated to that wave. There is no particular disadvantage to being in wave 2, 3, or 4. If we've taken a residence hall, if we take Hess Hall, we pull out the LLC beds, and then we break what remains into thirds so that we can put them in wave 2, 3, and 4. And those are the beds that are available. Your time slot may determine what you see once you get in, because if you have a 9 a.m. time slot on the first day of wave 3, you're going to probably see everything that was ever allocated to that. If you have one of the last time slots for that wave, some of those spaces may be booked, and we do ask students to have a backup plan and be prepared for that.
Thanks, Richard. I appreciate it. I know that's a lot of information, and so we might kind of revisit that here in a little bit, but hopefully that answers it.
I would encourage families to, on the UTK Housing YouTube channel, you'll find a playlist of videos under first year room selection is the name of the playlist. And there's about 6 or 7 videos on there that walk you through various steps of the process.
Love it.
So if your student hasn't selected a room yet, you can watch a video on exactly what that process will look like.
Great suggestion, and what a fantastic resource. I agree. Definitely check those out if you have not done so already. Moira, let's go ahead and transition a little bit to just talking parking. What do you say? So we got just questions about parking passes in general. How much do they cost? What should commuter students get? Can you kind of touch on a little bit of that to get us started here?
Sure, absolutely. The residential parking pass is $294, and that's for the full academic year. It doesn't include the summer session, but it is for the full year. And the commuter pass for that same time frame is $188. Again, the commuter passes do not have overnight parking privileges. Those again will be available on August 1st. Students can go online. They can either pay with a credit card or they can even put it on their account. Some students may have scholarships that may cover their permit. We have some veteran students I noticed in the questions, and that may come under their program also. So you can also put it on your account. And then what they're going to do is print out the temporary permit to put that on your dashboard when they arrive on campus. They are valid starting on August 1st. So anybody that's moving in early, band, Ignite, if you are doing sorority recruitment, those are some of the ones that I know that are moving in early. Those permits will be good from August the 1st. So if you move in on the 8th or you move it on the 14th and 15th, I think those are the days that the Greek sorority women who are rushing will be moving in. And when you get your appointment for housing move-in, it will take into account that information. So those are the big things right now as far as buying a permit. And we do have enough availability of parking, but what we don't have is enough convenient right next to the dorm parking. Contrary to what some people may say, no parking for students is assigned. Even if the garage is right next to your residence hall, they are not assigned to any specific area. We have 22 parking areas for residential students, and they can park in any one of those areas. Late at night, they may be parking in a surface lot that's a little bit further away, but we do have a transportation system that will come and pick them up and bring them back to their dorms.
Moira, thanks so much. And just to clarify, first year students can bring cars and they can park somewhere on campus.
Yes, they can. And my educated opinion on this is that if your student doesn't need a car, don't send them with one, at least for the first semester, because it's very stressful to find a parking place and it can be a distraction. They can bring it the second semester, it's going to be half price. But if you've got any room that they don't, maybe not need it, I would err on the side of not having them bring it the first semester.
Great advice. Thanks so much, Moira. I appreciate it. Stacy, I want to go ahead and throw it your way here. We're just getting some more kind of general questions about payment, but I want to kind of pivot a little bit and talk about scholarships, and folks are also asking, when are scholarships, and maybe we can kind of lump just financial aid into there as well. But when are those going to post on students' accounts? When should family members kind of be on the lookout?
Sure. So if the student has met our deadlines throughout the fall and spring term, then we would have processed the 22-23 FAFSA along with any university scholarships that the student was being offered. And we would have sent out a financial aid award letter back in March. But now if you need to see anything, it would be on the student's MyUTK account. under their My Financials, there's an Accept Award Offer button. If you click on that, I believe it's the second tab, will show you what is being offered to the student for federal and university aid, also state aid, a grant from the state or the Hope Scholarship. So anything that was either in the financial aid award letter or on the student's acceptance letter from the admissions office, all of that should be on the student's MyUTK account. What we're now running into is students were awarded external scholarships. And so from a church or a big box store or, you know, some agency within that student's community, that check would not be listed on the account just yet. That check probably hadn't been sent to the university, but it does need to be sent to our university bursar's office so we can process that. So any external scholarships, we still need to be working on those. It's kind of time to get us those checks so we can get those processed, because that takes a little bit of time to get through the bursar's office and then also financial aid. So if there is an award that's missing that the family feels should be there, then most definitely reach out to One Stop and we can look at that. But really, if the FAFSA was done on time, they were admitted, confirmed, all of that, all of the awards that we know of should be on there. But then those external scholarship checks would still have to be sent to us.
Thanks, Stacy. Just a quick follow-up, and I'll probably ask this toward the end as well, but in your opinion, what's the best way if folks just got questions about money, right? And whether it's scholarship or financial aid, how do you encourage folks to just get in contact with One Stop?
Sure. So we receive lots of emails every day and lots of phone calls. So that's probably the easiest. We also, we're open all summer. We're in Hodges Library on the ground floor. So if you're close to campus, come see us. Or if you happen to be attending one of the in-person orientation sessions or summer welcome, most definitely swing by and see us. But really a phone call and email to us, we can field your questions that way. If it turns into you want to do a Zoom call, we can also do that. That's something that we've added over the last few years. So really it's just reaching out to us, start asking the questions, or you can just call and say, I don't know where to start. And we'll just look at the account and tell you what we see and you know, some issues that we might see, or, you know, everything could be good. And we just move into payment due date without any issues. But most definitely just make contact with us if you think that there's something that just doesn't look right. We are more than happy to take that phone call or those emails.
Maybe they just want to hang out with you, Stacy. They just want to, you know,
Yes.
just want to just see how you're doing.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah, there's lots of us in the office. You can come hang out with us. That's true. I always say if we can get you through the first payment due date, it kind of all the terms we use lots of acronyms, all of that just becomes second nature to the families and the students also. So this first year, we know it's overwhelming. We know it's not great conversations to have. It's not fun. But if we can get you through this process now, I mean, the next 4 years will be great. So if we could just kind of answer any questions you have. I mean, we know that we get all sorts of things. We joke about wanting to write a book in One Stop about all the questions that we get. So just random stuff that doesn't pertain to our office, but we'll try and help.
Thanks, Stacy. And I can't reiterate enough that Stacy and the rest of the One Stop team are fantastic and are extremely helpful. So definitely don't hesitate to reach those questions. Mary Leslie, I'm seeing some questions on here. Going back to meal plans, of course, folks are just wanting to know for sure if students can use meal plans off campus as well, or if that's just for the dining dollars. Can you just, you know, go into detail a little bit?
Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about meal plans. Your meal plans come with your meal plan meals, your meal plan swipes, and then they also come with dining dollars. Like I said, the meal plan swipes, use them in the dining halls. Rocky Top and Stokely are the two dining halls. Rocky Top's the newest one. And then there's also the Southern Kitchen, which is, it's like an a la carte, but it will take a meal swipe. For Rocky Top and Stokely or All You Care to Eat locations. And then the dining dollars can be used at all of the locations on campus. There is another feature called meal equivalency. And what meal equivalency is, or meal exchange, if a student wants to use their meal swipe at a retail location, let's say it's Wednesday night, all of your friends are going to Steak and Shake. You know for a fact you're not going to use your meal in the dining hall for that meal period. Go ahead and use your meal exchange. It's a $5.50 exchange rate for the unlimited 7 and the unlimited 5 plan. And you can, if you go over that, then the rest of it should be taken out of your dining dollars. And you said off campus. That's kind of a tricky question because we do have 2 locations off campus, being Raising Cane's and Panda Express are off campus. So your dining dollars can be used and your meal exchange can be used at all the Vol Dining locations. So those are ones that are operated by the university. There are other locations on the Strip on Cumberland Avenue. You cannot use your Vol Dining meal plan at those locations.
Thanks, Mary Leslie. I appreciate it. I know it's tricky to try and get into the details with that. And we recommend, asking questions students when you're on campus. So family members, talk to them and reassure them that they're going to figure it out and that Mary Leslie and her team are always around, especially during those initial weeks and making sure that students feel comfortable kind of with the process.
Definitely. And just make sure that the students use their meal plan to maximize it, maximize it out. And we're here to help you do that. We don't want anything to go wasted. So please, if you have a question, please ask us and we'll be more than happy to help you.
Real quick follow-up. Richard mentioned it earlier, and of course we're getting questions about it. So I want to give you a chance to talk on our robots that like to roam around campus and deliver food. What do you want to tell our new family members about them?
Oh my gosh, they're the cutest things ever. I hope everybody agrees with me. Every time I see one, it makes me smile. And it's called Starship. And I would encourage you to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and you'll see little videos, little vignettes of these, robots delivering food across campus. It's pretty cute. It's an app that the students or, family members can, put on their phone. But it will definitely deliver food to you almost anywhere on campus. It will not go into a residence hall, but it'll meet you in the, right outside your residence hall, or meet you in the middle of the pedestrian walkway. It will also, you can choose a song for it to play, and it will also cheer on the volunteers. But they're super cute.
They're unbelievable. I still get, no pun intended, starstruck whenever I see them kind of driving around, just kind of stop and stare. But I agree. Looking forward for our new families and students to seeing them on campus this fall or this summer. Richard, can you provide some highlights on the move-in process and when folks are going to find out about when they're able to come to campus and officially move in?
Sure, and I see that's a popular question. Once we finish up room selection, we'll be sending out some information about move-in. Move-in appointments will become available in the portal probably the first week of July. You'll go into the portal just like you went in to pick your room, and then you'll be able to make an appointment to move in. You do have to have an appointment for move-in. We schedule those out to control for traffic. It just makes the experience for everyone so much easier, so much lighter of a day. Students who are participating in early start programs, the 2 biggest of which are sorority recruitment and Ignite, but there's several others, smaller special early start programs. They will have a block of appointments that are set aside available to them for August 14th through 16th to move in, be settled into their room prior to those early start programs beginning. The programs themselves will identify the students who have registered for those, and then we'll code those students in our system so they'll see those August 14th, 16th dates. All other students will make appointments to move in between August 17th and 20th. There are plenty of appointments. Your appointment is tied to the building where you live, which is why one of the big reasons we wait till we get room selection wrapped up so that we can then start setting appointments. You have to have an assignment to be able to make an appointment. So if you've made that appointment and then for some reason you change your room assignment, you'll need to be sure and go back in and modify your appointment so that hall knows they're expecting you at that time.
Thanks, Richard. And just a quick follow-up on that. I think some folks have asked, or they're probably wondering just about the option of early move-in, or what student populations or groups have the opportunity to move in, quote unquote, early.
Those early start programs, sorority recruitment, Ignite, band camp will already be on campus for a portion of the summer, and we move those over into their residence halls during the early move-in period. I'm trying to think of some of the others, and I'm not pulling it.
And let me follow up on my follow-up, Richard. If a student, when they get their appointment, would need to move in early or want, is that an option, or once they get their date, is that their date?
They can change that appointment all summer long to fit their travel plans.
Thank you. Fantastic. Moira, can you talk about our fantastic bus system on campus a little bit? Students I know are coming from all different directions, all different residence halls, or we have transfers or commuters coming from off campus. And so can you talk about the bus system, and then also talk about transportation options that our students have if they need to get to the airport or various larger cities, maybe over like holiday breaks and things like that?
Thank you. Yes, the T-bus system on campus is free. And so all the students need to do is get on the bus. We have 4 fixed route during the day. We have the hill, goes through the center of the campus and then up to the hill where a lot of arts and sciences classes and the engineering is. We have the 4th that goes back around Laurel Hall for those people that are living in the Fort neighborhood. We have the Neyland Express, which goes through the Ag campus and Sorority Village. And then we've got the Ag Express, which cuts through the middle of campus and brings students from the Ag campus to the center of campus, and then they can transfer to another bus. You do not need to memorize any schedules. They run on a frequency basis, so it's between 8 and 15 minutes before you have to catch the next bus. On the UT app, there is an icon that says Ride the T. You can actually look for it and see in real time where those buses are. So it's a great opportunity for students to take those buses. Just get on, you don't even need to show your ID. When families are in town, if those buses are running, you are welcome to ride those buses also. The other 2 things I wanted to mention as far as transportation is that there is a trolley, free trolley system from the Knoxville Area Transit. It's called the CAT trolley. It runs through the middle of campus. It goes from one end, which is between the main campus and the Ag campus. There's a Publix grocery store there, so a great place for snacks. And then the other end goes downtown, and it is free to get on those areas. And it also, you can transfer to other colored lines, which will take you around downtown. So that's a great option. Regarding airports, we do not have a shuttle system from the Knoxville airport. Somebody else asked about Asheville and Nashville. We do not have any service from there. What usually happens, and I actually just put a page on our website about this under frequently asked questions, is that for their first time, students will usually take Uber or a taxi to get to campus. And after that, what they usually do is just the old-fashioned way when I was in college is they ask a friend. And they usually pay them, in my opinion, in pizza or coffee. These days, they might want to pay in gas money with the cost of gas. But usually students end up carpooling to the airport for spring break, Christmas break, Thanksgiving weekend. We also have so many students from out of state. Somebody else may have a car and you may be able to carpool with it if you feel safe. I'm not saying get in a car with somebody you don't feel safe with, but there's a lot of options for carpooling with people back to different areas around the country.
Lots of good stuff there, Moira. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. And again, this is just a general reminder to check out the websites of all the departments that are with us this evening. A lot, if not all, of the information that's being discussed can be found there as well. Richard talked about some fantastic YouTube videos that goes through all the different processes that are taking place within housing for our new students as well. So just again, a reminder to check those out either now or once we're offline here in a little bit. We still have a good chunk of minutes to go, so we have plenty more time to answer your questions. Stacy, I want to go ahead and go to you next, if that's okay. Can you talk a little bit about how students can just make sure that all of their documents that they need are in, whether it's final transcripts, test scores, things like that?
Sure. So as far as the admissions process, that would be on their GoVols account. So if they'll just log into their GoVols and look at their checklist, if they have all green check marks, all is good. If there's still a red X, then we probably need to have a conversation. I know we're still waiting for final high school transcripts to come in because graduation dates have to be put on there. So the high schools are slowly getting those to us. So if there's any red X's on their Go Vols account, most definitely let's have that conversation if you believe that that should actually be a green check mark. And then as far as financials are concerned or anything to do with the student account, that would be on the student's My UTK portal. And if you go under the My Financials, there's a requirements button. If you click on there, it'll show any outstanding requirements as far as what financial aid needs. And then also on that My UTK, which is a very important portal, we put a lot of information out there for the students when they first sign in. There's a box at the top and it has important information in there, and sometimes some holds will be listed there also. But really for the incoming class, it's mostly that Go Vols account, making sure there's all those green check marks, and then the financial aid piece in that My UTK under the My Financials. I will say on that My UTK portal, because that's where I send lots of people, the first question, and I don't know if they've released it just yet, but they should be releasing it here shortly. It will do a pop-up box, and it's actually UT alert from the police department. And so if you will answer that question, either opt in or opt out with your email or cell phone number, but that UT alert is normally the first pop-up screen, and you have to answer it, I believe, every semester. But our incoming students, they can't ever get to their My UTK portal because that UT alert is sitting there. And the UT alert is very helpful. And it's a nice feature that we have on campus, but you got to answer that question first before you can see your portal for the My UTK. But most definitely you can give us a call if you're still not finding everything that you need on your My UTK. But really, that is where we load most of the information for the student to see.
And Stacy, real quick, I know there are still high schools that are in session or graduations that haven't taken place yet. And as we know, a lot of the times they won't release final transcripts until that process is complete. And so what would just be your recommendation or words of encouragement for families that are in that situation?
I know it's tough. We do all these deadlines for the university and we tell you to get us all this information. And then it's like we sit around waiting for, the next step to happen or a graduation date to be put on a transcript. So it gets a little frustrating. We did send out an email to all the students telling them that we needed their final high school transcript. And then we also put a link in that email that if they knew the transcript couldn't get to us by July 1st to fill out that form. And then that alerted the admission recruiters that one might be a little bit delayed, but we're really trying to get those final high school transcripts and any test scores in before July 1st. So if a student knows that that's going to be a problem, then let's have that conversation, or that form can be done on that email that was sent out to students within the last couple of weeks.
Stacy, I appreciate it. Hey, Richard, real quick, regarding move-in, how much time will families have to move their student in or the student to move in once they arrive at campus in the fall?
That's still being fine-tuned. Usually
Okay.
Let's say an average of 45 minutes. We're actually working on some different programs that some of the time slots may be shorter because we'll have more assistance there for you. Some may be longer if we don't have assistance there for you. So we're making those adjustments based on available help. Thanks,
Richard. Appreciate it. Mary Leslie, real quick, I saw a question about commuters and whether commuters, as new students, are they required to have a meal plan? And what would be your recommendation regarding those students who potentially want to take advantage of all the awesome dining options that we provide?
Commuter students are not required to have a Vol dining meal plan. What I would encourage commuter students to do is to look at their schedule, figure out how much time they're going to be spending on campus, and then determine, how many meals are they just going to be eating? Lunch? Will it just be maybe a snack? If a commuter student does not choose a Vol dining meal plan, then they will automatically be assessed the $300 flex plan. Once again, the flex plan is very similar to dining dollars. It spends dollar for dollar, just like cash. And it can be used at all the dining locations on campus. You can also add to the flex plan. But once again, look at whether you want to, have a meal plan. possibly have it covered by any type of financial aid you might be getting, and just look at the whole picture. We have a ton of students who really love the block plans. I mean, we have a 50 plan, a 75, and 100. This, commuter students really love those plans. So just look and see what's going to work best for you. Once again, if you are a commuter student and let's say you choose the flex plan and you blow through it immediately, you can always choose to have a dining plan. So, and the same with a dining dollar plan or any of the commuter plans, you can always switch. You can switch up till the 28th day after the first day of class, and you can also switch between semesters. So it's very personal, and it's all based on your dining habits, your class schedule, and your social schedule too.
Thanks, Mary Leslie. Richard, I want to go back to you. We're starting to get some specific things. So we're going to get into the weeds here a little bit, and we have just a few minutes left here. But I have one here that talks about students getting mail and how they might, ship belongings to the resident hall or to campus ahead of time to avoid having to travel with everything. What would just be your thoughts about that particular situation or scenario?
Sure. Student mail, paper mail, is delivered to the residence hall itself, and your student will have a mailbox there in the lobby of their building with a combination code. So it comes every day and gets distributed to those mailboxes. Packages go through central receiving, and they are put out into package lockers on campus. If you've ever had something delivered to an Amazon mailbox, it works the same way. The package will go to the mailbox. Your student receives a notification to their phone. They'll go to the mailbox where it's stored and tap their phone and pick it up. It is fine to ship items early if you need to. We ask that you not do that any earlier than a week before move-in. So if you're going to ship something to your student's residence hall, know when your move-in date is, and don't have it arrive any earlier than a week, because we don't need to have all those piling up. But you can find the shipping addresses and mailing addresses for every residence hall on each hall's page on our website. So if you go to housing.utk.edu and look at the residence hall that you need to send something to, you'll find the address there.
All right, how are we feeling, everybody? We've gotten through a lot of information and a lot of questions, and I know our team behind the scenes have been working tirelessly over the last 45 minutes to respond to even more via chat, and I think we've covered a lot of ground. I want to go ahead and just kind of start the wrap-up process here and give everybody one last chance just to kind of reiterate what are just some of the main things that our new family members or students should really know as it pertains to your particular area of expertise. Any advice that you might have or recommendations. I'll go ahead and Stacy start with you, if that's okay.
Hold on one second. Sorry, my view changed. So I was doing a whole checklist, and there's a lot of things. Sorry. So admissions, number one, we want to finish out that account. Financial aid would be the next thing. And really those pieces come down to watching the MyUTK account, having the student add any authorized users that they want on their financials. I kind of say, have financials understood and on the account and ready mid-July, because from mid-July to the time you move in, it is really quick for families trying to clean up everything at the house and move everybody to campus. And so really mid-July is kind of my point of where I want everybody to feel like they're ready for payment due date. So we have a lot happening. I saw a lot of questions in there about tuition waivers, and I know we didn't touch on that, but any tuition waivers we would really like to have in the office, either by email or sent to us through the mail or handed off to us. We would really like to have those in as quickly as possible, because it will take a little bit of time to get that through the bursar's office. So really just, we started this early in the summer. We try and get all the questions, answered now, and then just hopefully, wrap up a little bit of odds and ends of things as we're going into payment due date. But most definitely reach out to us. That's what we're here for. Even if you don't know who to ask, One Stop, the title gets us in trouble. So lots of people have us on speed dial and they just call us, and then we tell you the actual office that can help, but we're here. Most definitely reach out to us. We will try and help you in any way that we can.
Thank you. Mary Leslie.
I would say probably the most important things to know going into school is definitely maximize your meal plan. Don't waste a single meal. I mean, the options and the flexibility, they're there for you to use. We have over 40 dining locations on campus. Like Adam said, we have Starship, we have Grubhub. You can have food delivered to you. You can have food ready for you when you arrive to pick it up. You've got the flexibility of the meal exchange, you've got your dining dollars. And I know that someone asked about, the 7-day and the 5-day, those are unlimited meal plans. So you can go into the dining hall 20 times a day if you want to. You can go in and get a snack. You can come back and have breakfast. You can come back and get another snack. You can come in for ice cream. And the dining halls become very social spots for students. And then the other thing is get to know your dining hall. Look around. Don't always go to the grill. Don't always go to pizza. There's so many options and the food's delicious. I eat there every day. Another thing is if you have a dietary need, please, reach out to the dietitian. Everything is confidential. She works in conjunction with student health and student disability services. It's a free service. So please, use everything that it is right there at your fingertips. And then lastly, if you have any questions, you can email me personally. You can call our office. They send it to me anyway. So, but we're here because of you. And so, we look forward to having you on campus. This is our passion. This is what we do. And, we're here. So, maximize your meal plan and eat well while you're on campus.
We're definitely here. Thanks, Mary Leslie. Moira.
Okay, so my big things are, number one, parking is not assigned. And so parking is on a first come, first parked. And again, as I said, it's very stressful to park. We do have enough spaces, but they may not be in the closest one. Move-in parking is free on those days. The parents will be there. We will work with you on signage so that when you are done with your students, you will know where to park. So our process for that is stop, unload, and then park, and then come back and take the stuff upstairs so we can keep people moving. But we will have information for you on that. We do have an overflow parking area for the non-commuters. It's a little bit further away, but the T-bus could come and pick you up. It may say 30 to 40 minutes, but the reality is usually only takes 12 to 18 minutes for that van to show up. So please let your students know that there is parking available. The garages and area close in the center fills up by 8 p.m. We also do have a special parking area we call perimeter non-commuter. It's a little bit further. It's not on the bus route, but it's over where this overflow area is. It's only $100 for the entire school year. So if your student is only going to use their car half a dozen times the entire school year to go home, this is a great affordable option. And you can always email us at parking@utk.edu, and I will respond to you and give you that information. And one last trick from me is I have on my football page a special page for those parents who are coming in and need to know where the parking is close by and off campus, because the regular football parking is for donors. So we've got that information on our website also. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Moira. What you got, Richard?
I've got a misplaced Zoom window is what I've got. I couldn't find it to unmute. And I had misplaced it because I was making a list of things I wanted to cover. Quickly, things that are not housing, but very related to housing. Make sure that you have all of your immunization records updated. In particular, meningitis. Tennessee state law prohibits us from giving you a key to move into your residence hall if you have not met compliance on the meningitis immunization requirements. Student health receives those. You can visit their website. They have an intake process there, but make sure you submitted those. The other piece that is unrelated to us, but deeply related to us, vol card. Your student will have received information in their UT checklist, as well as emails to them about uploading their photo for their ID and enabling mobile credentials on their phone. Their ID lives on their phone. We can move you in without a vol card, but you can't go get anywhere in the residence hall without it. That is your key. So make sure that is taken care of as quickly as possible. Related to housing, room selection, we're about 50% through that process. The advice there is just to manage expectations. We want every student, of course, to get the building that was their first best choice. The reality is we don't have the inventory to meet every student's first best choice. Go in with the expectation that you are absolutely going to find a place to live. You're going to have an excellent community of neighbors to live among, and the students in every building have just a terrific experience over the year. So it's going to be okay. Find a room that you're comfortable with. You have all summer long as well to use the modify my booking function to look for a different room if you want to move around prior to move in. That works, but just go in with a backup plan. I had made another note to talk about, and I don't even remember what I've noted. So I'll just let it go.
All right. Thanks so much, Richard. And thanks to all four of our panelists this evening for joining us and sharing all of their expertise and wisdom. Again, I think we covered a lot of fantastic details that are going to be helpful for our new incoming families. Just some quick wrap-up announcements. If you wouldn't mind completing our post-session survey, it's live in the chat box, or we will be sending you the link via email after this session. Family members, you can complete online orientation. Please visit our website, and I am posting it in the chat as we speak. It is a free tool for you to explore. A lot of information that was covered tonight will be highlighted there amongst so much more. So don't hesitate to check that out, and feel free to go through it as much as you'd like. And finally, join the Tennessee Family Association. You'll see the link there on the screen to fill out your information and get involved with our fantastic association of current family members. Our next session, our next Tennessee Family Series will be June 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The topics will focus on community and leadership, and we'll have a new group of experts from around campus. We can't wait to see it then. We hope everybody has a great rest of the evening. Go Vols.